Few of you have asked for this style of video, and I know it might be helpful for those who are in similar situations. Maybe you'll get one or two tips and tricks from this video, or maybe it's just to connect with someone online who's dealing with something similar. I just hope this video hits the right people. But I suffer with chronic pain. I have a couple autoimmune diseases, and I have RA, so that is rheumatoid arthritis. I was diagnosed really young. Actually, I was diagnosed with juvenile arthritis when I was like 15. So I've always been achy. Like I don't even remember a time when I didn't have some sort of pain. And for me, it's also geared straight towards my hands. Like I'm achy pretty much in every joint in my body, but specifically my hands are where like all the flares happen. So I wanted to make this video today because right now I can't do too many puzzles because I am in that flary stage. It's always raining here. I live in Washington. So in those times I kind of struggle with gripping and trying to do puzzles that are 1,000 pieces and doing the crazy big puzzles because I physically can't do it. So I want to share with you some of the things that I use, some things that I change, some pain management things that I do that kind of helps me through these moments. And so hopefully you find this helpful. Maybe you find one tip from this or just connect with me on a more personal basis if you're someone who struggles with this style of thing. I just hope it's helpful. So let's just get into this. When I'm super achy, obviously I'm not doing 1,000-piece puzzles. I probably won't even be doing 500-piece puzzles unless it's a jumbo-sized piece. I go way down to 300, maybe 100 pieces, depending on how bad I'm feeling. So sometimes I can't do a 300-piece because cardboard puzzles for me sometimes are a little bit too thin. So, you know, I can grip like this, but I can't necessarily grip them because they don't have that thickness. So something I've been doing a lot more recent is switching to a wooden puzzle when I'm super achy. Now I will say these are a lot more expensive, but they also get a lot more use because on those times when I'm super achy, I have the few puzzles that I just like am doing because I still want a puzzle. And so I like having the option to have a few in my collection that I can rotate through. They typically send me the 250-piece counts, and I specifically ask them to give me the large format puzzles because I struggle sometimes. And so for me, doing their 100-piece large formats are perfect because they are also larger surface size. They still have this fun whimsy pieces that you see in other wooden puzzles, but what really helps me is that they are super thick pieces, and that is helpful when I'm trying to grip things. So let me show you just like a puzzle piece just so you can tell. So they're a little bit larger than like a standard size piece. They are quite thick. I want to say they're 4 millimeters thick, if that's correct. But just having a thicker piece just makes so much difference, and it makes it easier for me to grip them. Again, they're more expensive, but if this is something that you struggle with, you don't want to lose your hobby, I'm gonna save my money and maybe buy one, maybe every few months, every 6 months, just so that I can keep them going. I can still puzzle. You know, I hope that makes sense. I do also have a video that's geared towards 100 and 300-piece puzzles where I go through a bunch of different brands. So if you don't want to go wooden puzzle route, there's a few others that do nice large jumbo-sized pieces that I compare different brands, so that way maybe one of those would gear best towards you and your budget. This has been really helpful for me. Next up, I have some sorting trays that I use when I'm super achy. So these ones are by the brand Zaco. What I love about these ones, they are their speed sorting trays. They are ultra light. They are so lightweight, which for me is perfect when I'm super achy because I often don't have the grip strength to have like really heavy ones. And so these ones really, they don't feel heavy at all. I want to say they retail like $12 a piece. So if you're doing large puzzles, you might need quite a few of them. It would definitely add up. But if you're doing maybe only like a 300-piece puzzle, you may only need like 2 to 3. So not a huge investment, but I just love how lightweight they are. I also have these ones too, which are a little bit heavier, but not by much. And these ones are their black and white trays. And again, it's just because they are so lightweight. Now I could use something like this for sorting trays too, because I mean that doesn't weigh anything, but I like having the structure of an actual tray. So for me, having these have been really nice when I am on the achier end and I still want sorting trays, but maybe my regular ones are just a bit too heavy, or I just need something that has a little bit of grit to it so that way I can like grab onto it because of the lips. Like these have been really useful because you guys know I often use foam board as well, but I just feel like having a little bit of something to hold on to helps me out quite a bit. So these are the sorting trays I use when I'm on the achier end of things. You could also probably just use like cardboard box tops, you know, but if you want something specific, I do like having these. These were gifted to me by them. They are now available for sale, which is great. I think these ones are the prototypes, but I've been using them a ton and it does help me out when I'm wanting sorting trays and I already have them, so hopefully that just makes sense. Moving on to what I was just mentioning about is this guy here. These are a great, very inexpensive option. It comes in a pack of 2 from Dollar Tree. So these are like cookie cutter boards. I think that's where you can find them in like the kitchen area. You can also just, I mean, you have similar things on Amazon, but these ones are like really inexpensive at Dollar Tree. So what I typically use these for is when I'm putting puzzles away, because sometimes gripping a bunch of pieces and putting them in the box is just like my worst. I hate it so much. But something I do like using is this, where I can like scoop up a whole bunch. Like I can just put it down, kind of just gear all the puzzle pieces towards it and put away like half the puzzle all at once, and it just saves me, one, so much time, but two, I don't have to pick up all individual pieces. It all just like comes right on the tray, you dump them in the box, and it takes like 2 seconds to put your puzzle pieces away. So for me, this has been like a game changer, and it's such an inexpensive, nice hack that you can use, and it works so well. I've also just done some smaller puzzles on there where I can like do the puzzle on the board and then just put it in the box when I'm done. Like you just like tip it and go. It's just been a really useful tool. Again, very inexpensive. You could probably use like cardboard or some type of like cardstock, you know, it does something similar. This is also really useful if you are puzzling a section, and this is for anybody, not necessarily someone who has like gripping issues, but if you're puzzling a section and you need to like move it into a different place, this is also such a great idea where you can like puzzle on here or slide the puzzle pieces on here that you've done and then like move it to wherever you need to, because it just like slides off so easily. This is like the best hack, even if you don't have like pain issues. So worth looking into. Similar vibes as this guy here, which is the scoop, which I know some of you really enjoy having. I just haven't used it a ton, to be honest. I've had it for a few years. I really don't use it, but I just wanted to bring it up in case this is something you are looking for. This is a scoop. I want to say it's like $10 or so. It has a magnifying glass option, so if you are having some sight issues, you can always use it for magnifying. It also has a light, so if you have some lighting issues, you can use it as a little light. But a lot of people use it as the scoop, so similar thing as this little cutting board. You have a little bit more structure where you can like scoop right underneath it and then dump pieces or move pieces or whichever. I just find for me, the surface area is just a little bit too small for what I need it for. But I can see how it can be helpful. I do know a lot of you have used it and loved it. I just personally like the cutting board option because for one, it's a much larger surface size. I feel like I can get under things a little bit easier. And for me, it's a lot less expensive. So I just prefer that option. But if you like the other features of this, I again can see how this can be useful. Now let's go into things I do for pain management that is not medication. It really depends on the day, on whether or not these are helpful or not, but I feel like sometimes if I do a combination of these things, it may alleviate some of the pain. So I just thought, here you go with some options. First off, I have something that is not here because I ran out of it. It is BioFreeze. Now for me, I wouldn't use it when I'm going to be eating or doing things. I really just use it when I'm going to bed, so that way I can wash it off in the morning. But it's a lotion that you can put on your hands. I just like put it on my knuckles, and it's really, really, really cold. So for me, it kind of like helps numb and takes away that pain. Like for me, that's one of the best things I have used for my hands. Now it really depends on what works for you, because some days cold is not the way to go. Sometimes I much prefer a heating element, but for those days where cold is really going to be helpful, having BioFreeze is so nice. And sometimes I really like going the heat route. Sometimes it's really just I need heat to help alleviate some pain. So the couple options that I have here, first up we have our hand warmers. These are ones that I actually originally got for our camping trip and ended up just keeping, and I use on occasion. Now I don't use them all the time because for me, I don't like having my hands in like the gripping motion because I'm always afraid that that's how they're gonna end up. And so I only use them on occasion or when my hands are like super cold. But these ones are great because one, they last a really long time as far as the heating element. I think they last like 12 hours or so, but you just charge them with a USB and you just hold them when you needing it. Or sometimes I'll just like switch one back and forth. So you really don't have to charge them that frequently. So on those days where I want some type of heat or cold element, but I don't want to like grip anything, I got this as a gift, and I'm just gonna put it here because it is a great gift idea for someone who does have some achiness in their hands, or just, and also you can use it for your shoulders too. This was gifted to me by my friend Stacy. I'm not sure if she sells them. If so, I'll link this one down below because it's cute and it has like puzzle pieces all over it. But inside is flaxseed, and you can either have it cold or hot, so it really depends on what you want. You can put it in the microwave, or you can put it in the fridge to have it cold. And what I like about this one, aside from these guys here, is that I can keep my hands flat, so that way I can like put it right underneath it and like have the weight of it, cause like the weight of it, just like that compression also helps, but also like you can have all your knuckles underneath at the same time. This has been such a nice thing to have. If she doesn't sell these, try to link something similar, or I'm sure you could probably make something similar with like a rice sock, where you can just like put your hands under it, and it just like helps so much. And then finally, something that is newer to me are compression gloves. So there's a bunch of different ones online. I just got these ones from Amazon. I'll link a page of them down below. I'm not sure what you're looking for as far as compression gloves. I'm still very new to them, but it has been helpful. I don't like wearing my rings with them, so I have to take my rings off just so, I don't know, I don't want to scratch the fabric. But these ones here supposedly have copper in them. Copper really doesn't do anything for arthritis. I feel like a lot of it's just placebo effect, but just having the compression is really nice. It's just having like that like tightness around my knuckles and my hands really has been like it alleviates a little bit, but also just like makes it feel a little bit better. So I do know quite a few other puzzlers use compression gloves when they're puzzling. For me, it definitely is nice and helpful. I feel like it alleviates a little bit of that pain, and it's something that I'm still playing with. So if you are someone who has like a specific compression glove that you love, please let me know down in the comments. These are just the ones I got from Amazon because I was like interested in trying something like this, but I didn't want to invest too much money. And I do feel like it's something that I would like to use in the future. So I hope this video was helpful for those of you who have asked. I would also just love this comment section to just be like a full of great advice for the people who are struggling with similar things. Let me know some of your best tips and tricks down below if you're someone who deals with chronic pain, specifically in your hands. I hope you found this video helpful, and I hope you all have a fantastic day. Bye guys.